Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video. Going to be talking about every movie and show I watched this week, and let's get right into it. Let's start it off with the one and only season of TV that I watched last week, which was season one of The Clone Wars, which is a good season of TV, and you can read my review, but I did mention how when I first logged into Serialized, I fully put this in my top five. Um, Kind of not really thinking about it. Like, it was just one of the first shows that came to mind. And although I do love this show, especially the later we get in it, the first season is not great. And it's a little bit hard to sit through at times just because there's a lot of just filler. There's a lot of not important things going on. There's much more important things going on. Oh, Kitty almost fell. There's much more important things going on in um the rest of the show really after that. Season two is a major step up, and I did almost finish season two. I just didn't get a chance to. It was a pretty busy week. I watched Clone Wars all week from Monday to Friday. I only watched one movie each day, and then was watching the show as much as I could. And the way that the timeline goes is really weird. So I just watched or I just finished season one. I've done like half of season three almost already, and I'm literally like two episodes away from season two. But unfortunately, just didn't get a chance to finish it. This weekend was busy as well. I worked all day Saturday, plus Mel was home most of the weekend, so we I watched The Traders with her a lot, to be fair. But yeah, anyways, let's get into the movies. Let's start it off with my least favorite, which is On the Rocks, directed by Sofia Coppola, which I think is a fine movie. I think it's okay. Just kind of trying to finish off her filmography. I have, I think, really the only other movie I want to watch is Priscilla. Priscilla. So yeah, I might do that this week, maybe. I'm not sure. We'll see. But yeah, this movie's okay. Just trust your partner. All right, let's move on to Eastern Promises, which I ranked a 64 out of 100. And similarly, David Cronenberg, one of my goals of the year. I'm almost done his filmography as well. I've just got a couple left that I wanted to watch. I'm almost done Cosmopolis. I didn't get a chance to finish it tonight, so I'll finish it tomorrow. We'll talk about that next week. But yeah, Eastern Promises kind of falls in the like middle tier of my Cronenberg watches. I think it's decent, ranked at a 64 out of 100. Now let's move on to a short film that I believe was Oscar nominated last year, or I guess recently this year, which is Perfectly a Strangeness, which is really just a cute and like almost epic short film. We have three cute donkeys. Like that POV of the backdrop is hilarious. It's so cute. The point five is hilarious, and we have many clips of the sky and space at night and a random desert, and it looks gorgeous. It's kind of interesting. It looks cool. I don't know. There's not much to talk about, I don't think. But as for a short film, it's decent. Rank it a 65 out of 100. And I love that these three donkeys also get credits, which is great, which is also the entire cast on Letterboxd, if you look at it as well. So that's really cool. But let's move on to Nomadland, which I ranked a 67 out of 100. And honestly, this movie's kind of similar to Perfectly a Strangeness, but this is actually a mix of acting and true stories, which can always be kind of, I don't know, I don't know. It kind of makes me skeptical whenever films like that are made, just because there are lots of examples of it not working out. And I do feel like a lot of reason that Nomadland gets so much flack is because we have actors following these people that are actually, living on the road, and they choose to live on the road mostly, but they also have these genuine problems, that they deal with, or genuine things that they deal with, and we have actors surrounding them, which is kind of weird. But nonetheless, it's a gorgeous movie, and there's a great score to it as well. But ultimately, I just don't think it's a decent, or it's a great movie. I think it's decent just because of the way it looks and sounds. Again, the music, the original score in this movie is fantastic, and it looks gorgeous. There are tons of very beautifully framed shots, um, and some just very awesome, different views of the U.S., I guess, as well. But yeah, is what it is. Ranked at a 67 out of 100. Let's move on to The Brood, another Cronenberg movie, which I ranked a 76 out of 100. It's actually one of my favorites, if not my favorite, if I'm not mistaken, which is one of his earliest works. This is a pretty creepy horror movie. This is definitely something I'd recommend. Lots to like in this movie, I think, as well. And honestly, I feel like I could rewatch this and like it a lot more on rewatch as well, because this is a very interesting horror movie and there's some creepy stuff going on. And that reveal at the end totally caught me off guard. I should have known. It's a Cronenberg movie. There's probably something that looks gross and weird in it, but you couldn't have prepared me for the end. Nonetheless, 76 out of 100. I think it's a good movie. So let's move on to one of the themes of the week, which is The Devil Wears Prada. Started off with the second, which I ranked an 80 out of 100. And originally, I was thinking that I did like this movie more than the original. I don't really know how I feel about that still. I haven't really thought about it much over the past couple days. I don't know if I would say that it is better than the original, though. I know a lot of people don't think it is, which is totally fair, but I've always found the original to be a little bit boring at times and a little bit long. But this one, I find, or this new one, I find the actual plot was much more interesting and engaging for me personally. Like, I personally just enjoyed it more than the plot in the first. So I feel like I was kind of interested in it more. But there were some moments I didn't enjoy as much, and the way some of our characters went, those directions, I wasn't really a fan of at times either. So I ranked it an 80 out of 100, which I also ranked the original an 80 out of 100, which I believe is the exact same that I ranked it when Mel showed it to me a couple years ago when we first started seeing each other. And yeah, I mean, I ranked it an 80 out of 100 as well. That did not change. So it is what it is. It's a great movie. Again, I do think it's like this, literally like a teeny tiny bit overrated, but I still think it's great. I ranked it an 80 out of 100. It was my 200th movie of the year and my 400th movie with Mel, which is also pretty awesome. So yeah, 80 out of 100. Let's move on to Pokemon Detective Pikachu, which I ranked an 82 out of 100. I believe I lowered this from an 84 down to an 82. I still think it's great. The actual care or the actual like Pokemon or creature designs definitely don't bother me as much on a rewatch, because I remember, especially some of them, I feel like they're so nightmare fuel coated. But I didn't really feel that this time around. And the entire Mr. Mime scene is my favorite scene in the movie. It's hilarious, and I always loved the Bulbasaur scene in the first time watching it, but rewatching it this time, I loved it even more. I think Bulbasaur is probably the best designed. Um, in this movie. I think they look fantastic, and it's Mel's favorite Pokemon, so it kind of helps. But yeah, 82 out of 100. And let's move on to it, which, guys, I'm a genius. I somehow managed to convince Mel to watch it. I always joke to Mel, almost like once a week. I either put it on or I ask if we can watch it, knowing she's always going to say no. And I somehow managed to convince her today. And this is going to be a funny story that'll live on in her relationship forever. That I made her watch it, and she actually got sick because of it. I don't know how it happened. She was already not feeling great, but after we watched the movie, her genuine sickness got so much worse. She has had a fever most of the afternoon and evening. She's been on and off, shaky, warm, cold, hot flashes, cold flashes. She's been nauseous. She's been lightheaded. She threw up. She's had a rough night ever since we watched this movie, and I feel really bad. I feel really bad. I shouldn't have made her watch it. So, love you, Mel. Thank you for watching it. Ranked it a 97 out of 100. Still one of my favorite movies of all time. And let's move on to genuinely one of my favorite movies of all time in the top four, which is The Batman, which I ranked a 100 out of 100. Of course, my review is quite funny. I'll read it to you. The Oilers got eliminated yesterday, so I needed to watch something that made me hopeful. And yes, this Batman, specifically the Batman, this movie makes me hopeful more than most superhero movies do, I can say, to be honest, which maybe that's a hot take, maybe that's surprising, but this is like Batman to me is a symbol of hope. I find Batman is more of a symbol of of hope than Superman, and Superman I've never really felt that symbol of hope as much as I would like, but I sure do with Batman, especially Battinson, which yeah, I love this movie. So yeah, 100 out of 100. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.